Pursuant to Massachusetts General Law 30A 20F, I don't know if I'm reading that legalese correctly. After notifying the chair of the public body, any person may record or transmit this open meeting. This hybrid meeting is being recorded by the town of Stockbridge. The names of members participating remotely will be announced. Any member of the public wishing to speak must first receive permission from the chair. The agenda items listed are those reasonably anticipated by the chair, but not all may be discussed, and other topics not listed may be brought up for discussion by the public body as permitted by law. So according to that, the only member of our body that's not in person today is Abby. I think that's it. Okay. Sam, thank you for bearing with that. That's new. So we'll get into our agenda.
You have to call the meeting to order.
Oh, well, no, or I'll call the meeting to order first. And now I'll get into our agenda. So first off is our minutes from last time. Does anyone have any edits?
I make a motion to approve the minutes from whatever date the last.
June 2nd.
June 2nd.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Hi, Lisa.
Aye, Matt.
I shall be.
All right.
Aye, Abby.
We're getting good at this. We're good.
Yeah.
So I'll just give a quick update and hopefully this will give Eric a little bit more time in case he's running late. Just about composting, it's kind of fallen off a little bit. I think there was a lot of things going on in the public works department this summer. So couldn't get off the ground. So that is on my list to check in and see if we can get it going this winter, which is originally what they wanted to do.
Tim O'Brien is now on the green team.
Mm-hmm.
And he said to me, it sounded like they were interested.
Mm-hmm.
My recollection when Lord Drew Bell came here was she was kind of leaving it in our hands.
Yeah.
That was my impression. It sounded like they may be more interested than they had been. So I mean, if
Yeah.
we can help in any way, that might be.
And I'll reach out and see. But basically, I think what the main thing we had done all the great work.
Right.
Everything was on board. We had a meeting with a hauler. But then there was, so we were kind of all set to just have a hauler put some cans out and take it away. But then there was some discussion of people wanting to do the actual physical composting on the site, which kind of slowed down the process, which we weren't,
Know that.
I don't think we had ever come to that conclusion or pushed that. So
No, not
I think
yet.
that was internally. So I think that slowed down the process. And then the summer got away with, the influx of everyone coming and the other matters of the public works. So I just think the best thing to do, maybe talk to Green Team and then also push for this winter when the population is lower. So to be continued, and hopefully we can get the hauler in here to just put some cans and start
And is it Mary?
collecting.
Tommy?
We had a good meeting with Mary and it seemed very reasonable.
Right.
So
Really good.
if she can, I know she was,
Great.
yeah, she was really great. And if my memory serves, she still had capacity to take us on. So hopefully that still persists.
Great.
So that's the update. So we'll just move in because we have a guest tonight, Pete Westover. And Eric brought this and made this connection happen to talk about new agricultural commission's powers. So I'll turn it over to you, Pete, to introduce yourself more broadly and what you'd like to talk about.
Okay, sure, thanks. I don't want to take an awful lot of time, but and we do have a couple of PowerPoints that I thought maybe the best thing would be for me to send those to you so you can look through them.
Mhm.
One specifically deals with new powers, and the other one is kind of a general AgCom PowerPoint that covers a lot of ground. So I thought what I would do is just uh, fairly quickly go through the new powers that are outlined in Chapter 40, Section 8L, and that is the Agricultural Commission Act. Um, um, so just by way of background, about 15 years ago, I started under contract with MDAR to work with AgComs, and there were just a very small handful of AgComs in that have been created by then. Cheryl Leckstrom was involved. She and I worked for about 10 years providing technical support. By the time we finished, I think there were 170 AgComs.
Wow.
And as you might guess, a lot of them now are active, but a lot of them are not active, and we're really hoping that we can kind of spur things on again. There was a Mass Association of Ag Commissions, the MAAC, that did a lot of good work, but then they kind of fell apart about 4 or 5 years ago. And at the same time, MDAR stopped providing the technical support. So thanks to Ashley Randall, the commissioner, we are now back in business. And when I say we, that's Sarah Gardner, who also happens to work for American Farmland Trust and is the director of the Environmental Studies program at Williams.
Yeah.
So the two of us are under this contract to do everything we can to help AgComs, and one of the things we're scheduling is a handful of roundtables in each region during the fall. We had one in Westport, I guess a month ago, and then there are others in different regions. So we'll get everybody the publicity. What we're also trying to assemble the names of all the AgCom members around the state, so we can let everybody know what's going on, and we have found with the roundtables we used to have, it's really important for AgComs to talk to each other, especially neighboring towns. And we have found that when a town that doesn't have an AgCom is going to town meeting to say, look, we want one voted in, to have neighboring towns come over and say, here's our experience. This is why this is important stuff, So the new things that, well, maybe I should mention the old, what's traditional with AgComs. They were set up to promote agriculture, and I noticed you've got an Agriculture and Forestry Commission, which I remember from way back, and I wish more towns would do that. I think it's a great idea. But just the education of the public to the fact that the farm economy is important to each town, even if it's small. Advocating for farmers, passing right to farm bylaws, focusing on plans to use the right of first refusal under 61A when farms are, the use changes. And then assisting with farmers markets, that kind of thing. So under Chapter 40, Section 8L, which I think is about 7 or 8 years old now, but a lot of people still aren't aware of it. AgComs are now empowered to purchase land and then lease it back, manage it, get it in the hands of farmers under lease arrangements, and that can include the right to own farmland, also includes the right to secure conservation restrictions on farmland, and needless to say, to help with APRs, which has always been the case. One of the other items is the ability to adopt comprehensive ag land plans. So that really means inventorying agricultural land in town, preparing a tract index, setting priorities for ag land preservation, figuring out if there's town land that's suitable for ag use, how to make it available. My town at Whately, I'm here in the Connecticut River Valley, and several years ago, the AgCom put out a survey that they were able to get 100% participation, and every farmer filled it out. And if they didn't on the first time around, then the AgCom said, "All right, we're coming over to we'll meet you at your kitchen table, and we'll get this done." And the idea was to get a good picture of what every farm was doing in terms of production, employment, dollar amount, issues, things that they're worried about. And, there's plenty to worry about now with all these federal changes. So I think the picture keeps changing. But doing a survey like that can be really important, just so you don't miss stuff. You know who's out there, you know who might be an AgCom member, because people burn out. I don't know how long you folks have been on the AgCom, but we find people who've been on for 20 years and others who are just coming on, but it takes time. One other thing is now the ability to establish an agricultural preservation fund. And what that is a pot of money that does not expire at the end of the fiscal year. It stays there for the Ag Commission to use for any legal purpose, any purpose that is allowed by law, including managing and leasing farmland, purchasing land, preparing an ag plan, appraisals, publicity, applying for grants. And the fund is very similar to, in fact, the whole act is parallel to Chapter 40, Section 8C, which is the Conservation Commission Act. And if you're familiar with that, I mean, Concoms have been buying land for 50 years.
Long time.
Yeah. And the land, even though it's the ability to buy ag land, or in the case of commissions, to buy conservation land, the land is held by the town to be managed and controlled by the Ag Commission or the Conservation Commission. So we are also pushing people to, I mean, this is what MDR wants. There's the new Farmland Action Plan, which is in progress. And some of you might have met Catherine Otto. She heads up the action plan, the whole mechanism. She's getting people involved all over the state in pushing all of these. There must be 200 items in that action plan. It's a real, comprehensive collection of goals, a lot of which have to do with protecting farmland. And that's where AgComs can come in, and Catherine is very anxious for AgComs to play an active role. So if you go online, you can find the Farmland Action Plan. I won't go through too many of the details, but you might look that over and see if there are items that you haven't thought of that might be something that you could build into your own plans. Do you have a right to farm bylaw?
Yeah.
Okay. Right to farm bylaws have been somewhat controversial in the sense that people are not always happy with an acreage limit. In other words, they usually state that what they're covering is farmland or farms of over 5 acres or more. And there are a number of AgComs which have not followed the state model and have said, we're going down to 2 acres, or we're not putting an acreage limit in. And that's legal. You don't have to. Right to farm bylaws do not have to limit their coverage to 5 acres or more. There are laws, there are the state chapters that cover nuisance suits, and basically, as long as you're following standard agricultural practices, you're in pretty good shape when nuisance suits are brought. So, you know, that's a whole area that there are a lot of details involved with, but we can talk about that.
Can you say what a nuisance suit is? I don't know what that is.
Yeah, sure. It's, let's say an abutter is, or a neighbor is unhappy about the smell of chicken manure, or the noise of roosters, or heavy equipment going by at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
You know, if any of those are regarded as standard farm practices, you're basically safe from nuisance suits. And that happens a lot. And you know what ag commissions can do to help avoid having to bring lawyers into a situation is do some mediation and meet with both sides and say, look, is there a way that the farm practice can be modified a little bit so it doesn't bother people so much? And also to help educate the neighbors. Hey, you know, the farmers probably here before you were. So be aware that these things are going to happen.
Thank you.
Gotcha.
Is there a summary of, you know, of all these powers that you described, somewhere really easy to get at? Or do we have to just go
Yeah.
to the,
What I'd like to do is send you this PowerPoint. It's a summary that our colleague in Conservation Works, that's our firm, who's a
your
lawyer,
Conservation
Janet
Works.
Morrison,
Okay.
prepared, and it outlines all of the new powers and the legal issues that are involved. And I think if you have a chance to look that over, that would probably be helpful.
great.
And what are the funding sources for the Agricultural Preservation Fund? Where do you
Yeah,
get?
that's a very good question. One of them is definitely the Community Preservation Act, and I don't know whether Stockbridge has passed CPA, but
Yeah, it has.
yeah. So one thing you can do is bank the money from the CPA. You don't have to use it immediately on, let's say, the local match for an APR. You can ask town meeting and the CPC committee to put it into the agricultural fund. And then when it's needed, it's the AgCom that spends it. You don't have to go back to town meeting. If you're buying land, you do need the vote of town meeting, and it can be a majority vote unless you're borrowing, and then it's got to be a 2/3 vote. But that's again something that conservation commissions have been doing for a long time, you know.
For a very long time. So like we can talk about that. I know.
Yeah, that'd
I
be
know
really,
that process.
that'd be really helpful.
So CPA funds is one source. Grant funds are another. I mean, there are a lot of state programs that the town probably qualifies for, and ag commissions can take the lead. Donations, special grants. If you're leasing out land that has been bought for agricultural purposes, the lease fees can go into the ag fund. We're just getting started with AgComs doing that and setting up a fund. I don't know of any that have actually established a fund, but under this legislation, it's really important to do that. I mean, if you're thinking about preparing for a first refusal purchase, you know, if you want to act on, are you familiar with what happens when 61A properties are, you know, going out of use and the first refusal right comes up? The town has to be notified. The main 4 boards in the town have to be notified ahead of time, and then you get a chance to see whether you want to designate a land trust to carry out the first refusal right, or whether it's the town. So that's something else that it's important to think about planning for.
Gotcha.
That's very helpful information.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, thank you.
I,
think-
I hope that as we go by during this next year, that more and more towns will specifically adopt Chapter 46, Section 8L. There are a few that are working on it right now, and out of the 180 odd AgComs, I think we at the end of the year, I'd love to see a whole bunch of them adopting this new statute.
So this would be an amendment to our current, we would have to get this approved. Or is this overarching,
I think it sounds like it's state, but.
it's the state, right?
It is state, yeah, it's state statute, but
Okay.
it needs to be adopted by each town, because when your
Okay.
AgCom was set up, these powers didn't exist. So
Gotcha.
you want to make sure that you have town approval and also have, the understanding among people, here's what you're going to do,
Yeah.
and it's going to take time to begin to implement it, but I think it can be really important going forward.
And is it select board approval or is it town meeting approval?
It's town meeting.
Town meeting, okay.
Yeah, select board approval has always been regarded as too temporary. Select board can, new bunch of people in and they can reverse the decision.
Okay,
But
thank you.
once town meeting approves, then it's basically gonna last forever.
And is that, do you know, is that a majority vote or a 2/3 vote for something like this?
Majority vote.
So right now, the Conservation Commission, when
Yeah.
like the Land Trust wants town to be part of
Purchase.
purchase or managing, the default is the Conservation Commission.
Mhm.
It sounds like from what you're saying, the Agricultural Commission can also, if this is adopted, the Agricultural Commission can be involved with conservation restrictions, which would be great, because some of the land is agricultural.
Is agricultural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and you'd want to be sure then that the CR is worded in a way that allows and encourages any kind of agriculture.
Mhm.
Most CRs are pretty good about that, but some are more restrictive. So you'd want to make sure you can tailor the language to fit the situation.
Right.
So it sounds,
Just
Go ahead.
one more question. If
Yeah.
I am on the Concom and so I go to the Mass Conservation Commission meetings, is there something similar for the Agricultural Commission? Where there's trainings or?
Yes, we are going to be having, I would love to see another statewide conference every year, because that's what we used to do until the technical support from MDR stopped. The Association of Ag Commissions had annual conferences. And I think it's really going to be helpful to bring everybody together in a room,
mhm.
Okay.
Kind of like our town forest event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We hosted the state town forest event here this last year. Which brought everyone together in a room to hear about what was going on in the town forest.
Yeah,
it was-
that's great.
It was with DCR, so
Yeah.
this would be,
Okay, good. Yeah. And what we used to do is have a certain number of resource people show up.
Mhm.
And then it was always surprising how many neat ideas came out that nobody had thought of, that
Yeah.
AgComs are actually doing. And I've got a list which I can get you of probably 40 different things that it's possible to do. Nobody has time to do very many because everybody's busy, but
That would be really helpful, a really good resource. Because I think in the first few years of reconstituting this commission has been a predominantly forest.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of more forest issues to take on. But I can see there being opportunities with these new powers to make a bigger imprint on the farming.
Great.
yeah, and we are going to have a roundtable at Hancock Shaker Village for Berkshire County I'll have to look up the date again. I think it's mid-November.
Oh, awesome.
Great.
So I'll make sure everybody knows about the date, and the dates are already on our website, which is a page on the MDR web, on the site. So, and we used to have roundtables at Hancock Shaker Village. We always had a good turnout. Even one time, we even had a foot of snow on the ground. And everybody came anyway. So
Nice.
it really was good to hear what everybody had to say, and there are always issues that people are coping with that somebody has some good suggestions for. Mass Farm Bureau has been really supportive and helpful. Karen Schwalbe is now the executive director, and Frank DeLuna, who's has been a lawyer that works at Farm or with Farm Bureau for a long time, always came to our conferences, and they are quite willing to be very much involved again,
Great.
So
All right.
that's what I have now. And as I said, I'll send you these documents, and then make sure you know about the roundtable. It'd be great if you guys could be there.
Yeah, of course.
If you think of any other questions, definitely shoot us an email. I think you have both our emails, Sarah and mine. So we're glad to help if we can.
Sarah was my son's teacher at Williams, and he speaks really highly of her.
Oh, she's a great teacher. Yeah.
She is.
She's very good to work with.
Mm.
Well, this has been absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And I think it's a lot of food for thought. And I think, if that information comes through, we can get going on this. Since this is our first meeting of the fall season here. I'm gonna say probably next meeting, we'll hopefully get that information, start talking and game planning, how we'd like to go.
Sally is the chair of the CPA, so it'd be good, and the application process starts relatively soon.
Exactly.
It'd be good to-
Well, and to get this, how we want to formulate it and get it into the next town meeting, because that might take a minute to read and gather our thoughts and start presenting it.
And I think that we'll need to do a little bit of public education about it.
Yeah,
It's not the kind of thing you just want to spring on people in the Warren article.
well, exactly.
No, yeah.
It's a really good chance to kind of re-educate people to the fact that you even have an AgCom. And we find that in lots of towns, there's an AgCom, but the other boards don't even know about it, so.
That's one of those one of those blessings and curses, is no one really knows you're there, but you fly under the radar, you get things done. So
Yeah, I guess so, yeah. I'm really glad you guys are active. This is sounding good.
yeah, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much, and
Thank you.
I'll thank Eric for making this connection happen.
Yeah, it's great.
He organized and got you all together, so I appreciate that. And if we have any more questions, we'll definitely reach out and hopefully see you up at Hancock Shaker Village.
That sounds great. Well, it's good meeting everybody, and we'll talk again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
All right,
Pete.
take care.
It's great.
It's very interesting, because I think that's always been a kind of handicap for us, in the sense of us going from being just an advisory board to also helping support some of these decisions.
Yeah.
Especially where there is, in the foreseeable future, a lot of transitions of land that probably will be coming down the line here or there. That was once agricultural land.
So it'd be good to get the word out to the land trust and to Laurel Hill and to BNRC too, I would think. They're the main holders of conservation restrictions.
Yeah, a lot.
But I guess it has to go through town meeting that we adopt it first before.
Before we pull too or get, hopes up, because I don't want to get, this is gonna be, I think, more like this year of like just getting that passed.
Yeah.
And then we can start doing the planning,
Yeah.
and pulling other people in, because I think I love the idea, of the town, having farmland that it leases out and that is produced, now that we have the farmer's market
Right.
for, leasing to a farmer to then come and have a place to sell it.
Do we have any data about just how many farms and how much acreage there is in town?
No, but I think if we raise funds, we could potentially have a survey done.
That
Yeah.
is like basic information we should have.
And, and so like, if we can hire a consultant to gather that,
Yeah,
but I don't imagine it being an expensive process, but, us being able to have funds to use, just like for something like that would be
Yeah.
tremendous. The other thing is also those, we can raise funds, maybe that can support the farmer's market as well. Because right now it's not that it's tenuous or anything like that. I think from all that I hear, the farmers are very happy. They are making money and it's not an exorbitant amount for the town to help support. But it might put it on more sure footing if it was under a certain designation.
Yeah.
For the future. So I'll definitely put that on our next agenda. Once that information hopefully comes in and we can all look it up. And that's what I was trying to find, and I don't know if because it's chapter 40,
chapter 47, I think, section 8L.
47,
I think is what he said.
or chapter 48,
Well, there was another chapter.
math. I was trying to see if I could find it. So, oh, here we go. Yeah, so I think, yeah, it is here. Gonna have to find the actual, because I see
No, it's
section 8, eligibility of an area for purchase of agricultural preservation restriction. Chapter 40. I wish I'd put, I thought it was 40, chapter 48L,
oh, that could be.
but then I realized there's
a chapter 40,
Well, you-
section, chapter 40L, section 2, seems to,
while you look, I'm gonna take her out for this.
Oh,
one second.
yeah,
I'll be
sure.
right back.
Yeah, because I want to find the actual. The actual act.
yeah.
The mayor said.
Oh, I think it may be chapter 40, section 8L.
Chapter, just chapter 40.
It was Title 7
8.
Municipal Agricultural Commission.
Shall be it.
Yeah, this looks like it might be.
Is this the one you're looking at? Municipal Agricultural Commission?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just gonna save that as a PDF so I can look at it. It's pretty long.
Yeah, and well,
But this looks like what he's talking about, like section 8H, right at the bottom, a municipality may appropriate money to an agricultural preservation fund.
it also says civil penalties, the one above it, G. And you, as a commission, you can receive gifts, a personal property interest in real property as description in this subsection.
Well, I saved, there's a print page button, I saved it as a PDF, and also
Okay.
put the link into the minutes.
That must be it, yeah.
Great.
This looks like what he's talking about.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
It's
Yeah,
that's huge. I can't believe it's been around 7 years. I mean, it is kind of buried in there, but so we'll have to see what language we actually have to adopt. If it's just copy and paste that section
yeah.
into, into the warrant, and then that's it. I know, I pulled up our bylaw, and because that was the other thing he was mentioning, which I don't think we make any reference to size or parcel size. From my brief memory and from glancing at what we have in the bylaws. The other thing I think I should bring up, because Eric's not here, but he sent around the paperwork he had while he was cleaning up, which is something I remember talking about when we started this commission, and I don't know how we keep track. This would be something we talk about more, how we keep track of if real estate agents and whatnot are sending that notice out.
It's an uphill battle.
Right. And so whether it's literally like we may have something like I go and canvas to each of the real estate agent offices and make it clear, but there is, from the paperwork that Eric had, there was some enforcement mechanism that we can discuss at our next meeting. If I remember correctly, Berkshire Realtors under the Massachusetts general law. I can't search it. When I was reading through, there was,
There's a president
yeah,
of the Realtors, and I'm, if I remember correctly, when I was on the Great Barrington Concom, because there is the law about Scenic Mountains Act, where you can't cut trees in
Right.
scenic mountains areas, and what would happen time and time again is people would buy land cut,
yeah,
and then someone would report it, and
and
we would have to go and
right,
do an enforcement. And I think we contacted the president of the Realtors, who changes every year.
right,
And asked that they give out that information
yeah,
with very limited success.
yeah.
Say, but it's worth, there may be other avenues too, but I think that's what we did there.
Well,
Liz Wheeler is on the planning board and she's a realtor. And I wonder if maybe we just, and she's great. She was
Yeah,
on,
she's
she was on Laurel Hill board for a while.
or is this something, I mean,
Actually, she still is, I think.
is this something, and this, again, we're getting a little tangent, that the realtors are responsible for getting signed? Or is this something like when a purchase is made, the town needs to send this form out?
I don't know.
Okay, maybe this is a question for Michael. Because, so in the mechanism, the right to farm disclosure, it says this form must be signed by the buyer and on file with the city or town before transfer, or else a fine of an amount of $300 can be assessed.
To who?
Don't know. It seems like it's the buyer.
If they didn't sign a form, they didn't even know they had to sign.
Well, exactly. I'm not,
Yeah.
but so like it's, I don't know if that is in the Massachusetts general law. But that is what this is from a Berkshire Realtors document. So And we're included on this list as of 2009, so.
It's interesting, it says that there's an obligation that the seller must present a right to farm
That
disclosure
makes
form
more
to
sense.
buyers.
Right.
But it also says no more than 21 days after the purchase and sale contract is entered into.
By the way-
Or prior to the sale, or it's like,
By the way,
wait, yeah,
Yeah.
like you bought this land,
hear
but
that
guess
big
what?
tractor?
Yeah, yeah,
It seems like it would be more effective if it was,
at the time of
Yeah.
purchase.
For it,
or just as part of the information that when you're evaluating the property,
right.
this is something you need to know
Right,
before you decide to buy
right.
it.
So again, it also gives me, because, and knock on wood, the last few years, we haven't had nuisance complaints or anything, how much effort do I want to put into this? That's another question. But it is also, I feel like it's one of those things you have signed in your back pocket 10 years down the road, if something were to arise. Okay, so I'll put that on the agenda for next time. And we will get working on that. That's great.
Good stuff.
Okay, next up, and maybe this is also where we can have a little update from the tree warden. But
Was this Matt's?
Tree City application.
So I think we'd have to go through it again, but I think we have.
We have it.
I think we have everything we need.
Gotcha.
The question, the form, I mean, it seems pretty straightforward.
Mhm.
I did look online yesterday, the 2025 application, I still couldn't find it, still didn't look like it was up yet. They said September. My question is, who submits it?
Mhm.
Whether it's Michael, whether it's you, whether it's me, I don't know who submits it. It's the town.
Yeah,
In Great Barrington, we did it, the town administrator did it, and that's who the contact person was. I don't know
gotcha.
how we want to do that here. And I don't know how to like upload chapter 87 or upload some of the forms, some of this stuff. I wouldn't know
Right,
how to do that. So I couldn't do the whole application.
right. Well, I'll hang on to this and I'll talk to Michael about seeing if I can just submit it and just go for it, which it might be that simple.
I think he would say yes.
And but maybe I just have to put his contact information down for the
Yeah,
town
that might be it, that you can submit it with his contact.
with his, yeah.
And I think, but other than that, I think we have everything. I sent you the work plan.
Which one?
I sent you the work plan yesterday.
Yes, I think, let me just double check and I might print that out just to have that with us.
It's pretty straightforward.
And if you can't upload all these various items, we could probably just scan them in and turn them into one big document.
Yeah, one big PDF, yeah. Which I do have a scanner, and I have the work plan here,
Okay, that may be, that may be the way to do it.
yeah. As I try to keep it all nice.
And once that's in,
Mhm.
we can start thinking about a bylaw.
That's great. So for my action item, I will get this submitted, or at least have Michael submit it. My inclination is we don't have to take a vote on this to submit it. I think we've already
Take a vote,
taken a vote to do the process.
we can take a vote, right?
I mean, if someone wants to,
I make a motion that, once Matt knows who can submit the Tree City application, and once it is available online, that, we do so.
do I hear a second?
Second,
All in favor, say aye.
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 All right.
Aye.
And if you need the contact person, it had been Julie Coop. She came and spoke to us a couple
Oh,
of.
that's right.
She's not the contact person anymore.
Do you want to just share the new contact with your the same thread as your draft work plan? Put it right in that email thread.
Okay,
And then that way I'll have all that information.
yep, once I remember who it is. Yeah.
All right, amazing. And then do you want to talk more about updates from the tree board?
Not,
We could-
for next meeting.
For next meeting, we could, all right, I'll add that
A
to.
lot of trees are being cut.
Got it.
A lot of dead trees out there.
Bottom line.
I would add, Ken treated 18 ash at Ice Glen, and he was coming back for the rest of them probably in the next couple of weeks.
Gotcha,
So that treatment is going well.
gotcha.
And that comes out of the tree warden budget, so we can hopefully keep that going as long as we. Me
Awesome.
too. There's funding for Ice Glen, and there's a forestry line item in there. I don't know if you
Oh, good.
want to do anything with it. So far I have not, but there is a forestry line item.
Just off the top of my head, not that I haven't had any one say anything or anything like that, but just the trails up to Ice Glen, since we are, we're taking the responsibility of it from that meeting from Laurel Hill, thank you. That would be one of those things that if something comes up.
I think the highway department, well, if something comes down, I think they go out. I could be wrong,
But
but
that's,
last time something came down, it was the highway department.
that's great.
That's good.
I mean, so if they're fine with that, that would be the only thing that I think off the top of my head that, since we're doing that work, if a tree or something comes down across the trail.
Well, I spoke with Ken very briefly because there's a movie coming out about Ice Glen.
Mm.
Bob is in,
Yep.
and Ken was here for part of it. So I met them in the parking lot. And I asked him about fire management.
Mhm.
He said, our understanding was
Right.
that the trails in Ice Glen are wider. It may be helpful when and if there's a fire. What he said was the most important thing, I forget the word he used,
Mhm.
was but what he meant was eliminating like the piles of places where there's piles of things that are easily flammable. And there's a word for it. I don't remember what the word is, but to clear those, somehow spread it out. So it's not so there's not easy places for fires to start. So it's another thing to
Gotcha.
think about.
Well, that if we're done with the update, that kind of ties into the next, dovetails with it, the discussion, that I had from our last meeting was to set up, a meeting to talk about the forest management for particularly, potential forest fires. If I remember correctly, we had talked about getting Laurel Hill, the fire chief, to come to a meeting, and I couldn't find our minutes from the time where we met with the district chief. But to start planning a meeting about that and get everyone in the room together to talk about what management we'd want to do, and if that's maybe part of the tree warden forestry line, we should talk about that.
Yeah. And I think especially as more hemlocks die,
Mhm.
as more hemlocks die up there, we're gonna have less live foliage and more dead trees. And
Well, and now
greater
it's
risk.
not just the hemlocks, the beech.
There's not a lot of beech up there, though.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's ash, but
but the ash.
there's scattered ash, the stands of ash are being treated.
Yeah.
Places the ash are dying, but yeah, I think that would be a
Mhm.
good meeting to have.
So, maybe, because Eric had shared a bunch about the forest management, had shared a bunch of articles. Maybe not next meeting, but, what would be the following one to give us some time to coordinate?
And how about also, is it Tom Ryan
Tom Ryan.
to get DCR
Mhm.
out here too?
Yeah, I think Tom Ryan too was the one that put us in touch with the district, the fire district
Right,
person.
but it would be good to. see if he's-
So we have Tom Ryan,
Kate Fletcher,
Kate Fletcher,
fire person.
fire chief, fire district chief too. Because I think a component of it will be information about for people and their houses to make sure that there's, on their own properties, to make sure that there isn't a lot of brush accumulating.
Right.
Um,
And do we ever want to include the tribe in, or at least let them know, and they can decide whether they want to come for any discussions about Ice Glen?
yeah, I mean,
Might as well.
They may say, no, thank you, but I think it'd be. nice
Yeah.
to invite them.
especially, what was I thinking? I was thinking about the birch bark, which we're still collecting, which hasn't happened. Nothing has happened with it yet, so that's why there's no update yet. So when there is,
And, for me, it's mixed
mhm,
because fire also is natural. I mean, we don't want everything to burn down, but
mhm.
Yeah.
that's sort of what has me thinking about the tribe is they might have a different perspective.
Well, I'm really been meaning to go hike where the burn was down in Great Barrington along that ridge, to see
See what it looks like.
what it looks like. Because I think in particular, like, I think if I remember correctly, the COMCOM has talked about Gold Meadows doing controlled, which I don't think they're gonna do. I haven't heard anything about it.
Well, I think whatever the weather conditions that they needed last year, they didn't get, maybe they'll have them this fall. It's not that
Yeah.
they didn't want to do it. They
Right.
still want to do it. They just couldn't.
Right. It's just hard, it's hard to get. And I think that's a good point about the tribe and relation of fire and all the histories. When people were coming to the New World, one of their first signs was smelling the smoke because there was forest fires or management practices by the indigenous population. So I think I don't think for the foreseeable future, we're going to get those massive fires like you see out west where the pines are toppling, but like the low brush fire, like I think that's what the person from the fire district said. It's that low brush fire that comes through.
And burns for a long time.
It burns for a long time. So yeah, I think we could definitely just reach out and see if they're interested, if they have time and want to partake.
And I would suggest to anything at Ice Glen that we invite Patrick. He may just have an interest in
Yeah.
kind of,
Yeah.
his, he puts so much attention in.
Do we want to call this meeting more, because I called it forest management planning? Would it just make sense to be fire management planning? Is that, I think we're honing in on that particular, it's not like we're doing a new stewardship plan or anything like that.
Right.
Okay,
But potential,
potential,
because I think part of the question is, should we do it? Part of my question is, should we do it?
right, right. Okay,
Luckily, there is the river on the front part of
Right.
Ice Glen if there was a fire.
yeah,
Also on the topic of Ice Glen, I was in Ice Glen probably 3 weeks ago, and I was hiking back down, and not a big bear, but a good sized bear just walked right in front of me. He didn't even care. So that was the third time I've seen a bear in there, so that was pretty cool.
I have
That's cool.
seen many bear in there and they don't pay any attention.
yeah.
They just,
No, they don't mind.
yeah,
It's theirs.
It's theirs, yeah. We're just visiting.
it still inspires awe
Oh,
when you see them.
they're amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
We get them in our backyard sometimes, in our front yards.
It's funny, I just got their trash, so
Oh,
I don't get the bear, I just get the leftovers. Anywho, all right, so I think
before we.
Yeah.
I discovered much later than July 2nd. On July 2nd, somebody named Bruce Cohen sent an email to us about bamboo growth. And some of it, it's a little hard to tell exactly what he's talking about, but looks like across the street from the old fire station on Route 183. And he said that's a big one. And then a little, then there's something else near West Hawthorne Road, which obviously we don't want to let bamboo go wild. But I don't know if this is a thing for us to deal with or for Concom or.
Concom would only deal with it if there's a wetland.
Well, that's
And
what I
even
thought.
then, we don't, I mean, is it private property?
It's the roadside, and I messaged him back about it and said, you know, I kind of iterated that of being like, I don't know, it's not totally in our wheelhouse. And this is the biggest thing is it's mowing. It's the mowing of the edge of the
Spread.
road, really.
Okay, well, that's the
And
highway
that's,
department.
yeah.
Highway.
And so, but I also couldn't personally, I meant to go out there and actually look. I couldn't identify anything in the pictures.
Oh, there were pictures. I didn't know.
Yeah, he had sent me pictures and I can share with you. I couldn't identify necessarily any bamboo from the photos. If I'm in person, maybe I could see something. So
It seems like and it's actually not town property per se. It's unless you consider
the right of way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the roadside.
But it's hard too to say, hey, I don't know if Public Works will change their mow.
Well, they should keep following practices
Yeah.
to clean the mower so it doesn't get spread.
Yeah,
That they should do. I don't know. I mean, we
Right.
can refer him to them to see
Right.
that's what they do.
but you're
That is one way it gets spread, but once it's there, it's spread.
right. It's without removing the roots. And I don't, so I couldn't really see anything in those.
Scroll back up again.
See ferns. I can't.
I know, I don't really see.
Yeah, and my only other thought was maybe that it might be euonymus.
Not weed.
Right. Yeah, or knotweed. But then the photos I didn't see either. So yeah.
Having looked at a few trees along that way, right away isn't real big, so some of it may also be private property.
Right.
Hmm.
So I mean, I've been meaning to reach out about it, but I haven't reached out to Public Works.
Yeah, I would refer him to
Yeah.
Public Works
Yeah.
and see if they, what their practices are,
Yeah, roadside really does sound like it's their
Right,
bailiwick.
which doesn't mean that they'll remove it, but
right,
Yeah,
could
but
at least see if they're doing it. So
Yeah.
it doesn't spread more.
yeah. But I was thinking of driving by there and just seeing to see if it's his. Okay, thank you for bringing that
no,
back
sure.
up. All right. So next date and time,
October 6th.
October 6th. Sounds right. At 5. And hopefully, if I get that information from Pete, I'll send that out earlier so people have more time than the Thursday before. Other than that, anyone have anything else?
Nope.
Sorry that you're not in Europe.
I completely had that wrong.
I had
You know what?
visions of-
That would be fun. Maybe one day.
Really
Yeah,
enjoying yourself.
I'm not sure how I got that
I'm
Europe instead of New York thing.
glad you cleared.
That's okay. We can pretend.
Yeah.
We'll all pretend you're in Europe.
Okay,
Uh,
perfect.
All right.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
So,
So,
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
do I have a second?
second,
All in favor, say aye.
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 Bye.
Thank you.